I think after over 50 years of occupation, we don't, I mean, Amnesty, I salute to Amnesty and to the other organizations who did this step defining Israel as an apartheid state or defining the occupation as an apartheid. But I don't think that after 50 years of occupation, anyone can still claim that the occupation is temporary or that Israel has any kind of intention to put an end to it. With 700,000 settlers, including East Jerusalem, the numbers is growing, the settlements are just spreading more and more. Soon we will celebrate an anniversary to Oslo agreements. We are very grateful for this trap. It was a trap. I didn't think it was a trap at the time. I was, like most of the people in the world, I was sure we are going for a new era. But now, when it will be 30 years, I think, to Oslo, we can sum it up as another trap on the way to creating the second apartheid state in history after South Africa. If we come to the conclusion that the occupation is not temporary, and nobody can contradict this, nobody can seriously think that Israel has any kind of intention to put an end to the occupation. When you build settlements, you don't have any intention to evacuate them. When you oppress a people in such a brutal way, there is no indication that you have any kind of intention to get to any kind of agreement with these people. So in this situation, we have to realize, first of all, that we were cheated. The occupation never meant to come to its end. Israel never meant that the occupation is temporary. The occupation is here to stay. It was meant to be a permanent situation. And then the whole argument, is Israel an apartheid state or not, becomes almost anachronistic. How else can you call it? How else can you call it? I have my master's degree in political science. I don't know how to call a regime in which between the Jordan River and the Mediterranean, there's not one point where Israelis and Palestinians are equal in one thing. And if they are not equal on national basis, it looks like apartheid, it walks like apartheid, it behaves like apartheid, it is apartheid. And I think this argument becomes really pathetic. You know, the occupation, the apartheid defines Israel. This does not mean that Israel is all along an apartheid regime. There are men who are beating their wives. There are others who are beating their children. They might be charming and nice and give money for charities and do wonderful things. What defines them is what they do at night in their bedrooms and children's rooms. This defines them. They are violent people. They are beating their children or wives. When Israel is doing what it is doing to the Palestinian people, this defines Israel. All the rest cannot compete. Yes, Israel is a real liberal democracy for its Jewish citizens. I am the best proof for it. I gain full freedom. I'm not sure that journalists today in Western Europe, in every country in Western Europe, gain the same freedom that I gain. I can really write whatever I want, from supporting BDS to claiming that Zionism is racism. Full freedom. But does this define Israel? No. What defines Israel is what it is doing in its backyard. And in its backyard, in its dark backyard, we are facing, and I'm very careful in what I say, but I stand behind it, in our backyard there is one of the most brutal totalitarian regimes in the world today. There are very few regimes which are as brutal, as cruel, and as totalitarian as the Israeli occupation. Not in terms of bloodshed, in terms of daily life. What the Palestinians are going through in the last 100 years, and especially in the last 52, 53 years, is something that cannot be described or cannot be perceived by none of us, because none of us lived under this reality. But take my word that it is a tyranny. And if Israel is possessing this tyranny in its backyard, we have to realize that Israel cannot be perceived as a democracy. With all the goodwill, with all the feeling that Israel had achieved many achievements, Israel is in many ways a miraculous phenomena. Out of the ashes, peoples from all over the world, refugees, Holocaust survivors, build something which is really incredible, unbelievable. But this does not cover up the fact that in the backyard there is this tyranny. And this tyranny cannot be defined in any other way but an apartheid system, because it is based on national discrimination. You don't like the word racist, it's okay. But finally it's about what religion and what nationality you are born to. Are you born Jewish, like me? I have all the privilege in the world. Are you born Palestinian? You have no privilege whatsoever, no rights whatsoever. I'll give you one example.